All right, I've welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, February 8th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Day trading room's killing it right now, FYI. 2 more winners today, 3 yesterday. Absolutely crushed it here on this Under Armour play. This is also a swing for us as well. We got a sell signal this morning and about 6% on that one in really not even an hour. So really good win rate so far this year. If you're interested, come on, check it out. Anyways, let's get into it today. So markets here, kind of just sideways, really quiet for the most part. Take a look at the spiders here, or the SPX. 49.87 low of the day, high of the day right here at about 49.97. So, I mean, literally a 10-point range. We are trying to inch up towards that 5K handle. There's a lot of 0DT gamma up there. There's also a big ES order up there too. So I mean, they could push it up in the next hour. It's power hour right now, but there's a lot of gamma there. So I don't know if we're going to have enough to get through it. We had a big thrust yesterday. A lot of the time it takes a little bit of time to work through that, especially when we had, like, again, we had the big thrust Friday. It took 2 days for us to back off. We got the big push yesterday, obviously on Wednesday. And, now we're just kind of going sideways here. Maybe they can pump it up on Friday. Maybe they pump it up now, but either way, there's still quite a bit of gamma up there that I think probably holds us down, at least for right now. Outside of that, again, analysis is basically the same as yesterday. Give the market the upside bias here. We're going into OPEX next week too. There's probably a lot of, actually I know there's a lot of not 0DT, but monthly gamma at 5K for next Friday. We could get pinned around. There could be, a little bit of a fake out and then maybe come back in. So that's something to keep an eye on here. But again, give the market the benefit of the doubt right now. We do have some signs of possible rotation. Take a look at ARK, up 2.88%. Even Tesla, which is a part of ARK, up 1.23. So that's getting a little bid there. And kind of these laggard plays are bidding up. IWM here up 1.5, coming into that wedge pattern. I don't know if that's going to actually. I will be willing to bet it doesn't get through that tomorrow, but we'll see how it does here. I don't really have it going much higher, at least not yet, without more consolidation or pullback. But we are seeing some rotation here, and obviously, aside from rotation, we're seeing more of the same too. ARM, right? So I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this. So up 50% on the day. It was up like 60% at one point, high of 126.59. It is pulling back a little bit off the highs now, as you're seeing, some profit taking there. But I mean, this is, and I was joking but not joking about this on Twitter earlier. At what point does SoftBank, do we find out that they're systemically over levered? I mean, it's getting a little insane at this point here. And when I mean systemically over levered, I mean, you go back to like what was going on with Bill Hwang in, I think 2021, where this kind of happened. Now, I don't think this would happen to this, Paramount's too small of a company, but when there's this much leverage involved, it only takes like a 10% drop to really trigger those margin calls. I just see like max euphoria out here. Again, I'm not saying to short the market. You only short it when we get a sell signal. But just compare what's happening to Paramount right now with Nvidia, but then add about $1.5 trillion to market cap to the company, and you get what I'm saying there. But either way, markets are holding up. Semi's still leading again. ARM joining the party, so it's it's almost kind of rotation within a sector. Like even today, like SMCI is up, but 2% is nothing for SMCI. Nvidia is flat, but again, like I'm saying, ARM is higher here, so that's kind of helping out the sector. You see the SMH tagging that 200 handle there. And we've talked about that as well. But markets here, they're getting stretched, but they can still go higher. There's nothing to say that can't happen until we get high volume selling. I'm in the camp that we're probably not going to see that until at least next week, possibly OPEX somewhere around that time, maybe after OPEX. It just kind of, it's the way it works. They generally are going to keep the market under control during that time. So just some things to think about there. By the way, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. The video from yesterday on Cannabis I did with Chartman Dan from Chart Guys. Really awesome stuff. It's on the channel there. By the way, excellent call by CMD, TCNNF, True Leave, first hourly oversold after the stair step break, and you've seen a pretty good bounce. I know he bought that dip too, so nice. Kudos to him there. MSOS It did break that pattern too, so we might be getting into consolidation here. We'll keep an eye on the marijuana stocks. I'll start covering them a little bit more here. Maybe even just like a once a week check-in or something like that. I want to keep my general video just to the broad markets and what affects the broad markets. The pot stocks could go up 1,000% and it won't affect anything with the market. They could also drop 100% and it would not affect anything with the spiders. But maybe we'll do a check-in maybe once a week or something like that. Or if they're making really big moves, I'll comment on them. But really good video that we talked about yesterday. But nice action there for MSOS. Anyways, for the spiders here, you're going to see very light volume. I mean, guys, 32 million shares at 3 p.m. Tight range, 10-point range. So nothing to talk about. A lot of stocks moving though on earnings. Again, we talked about ARM. We had Snap the other day, which is one we day traded, made money on today. Under Armour we talked about as well. But overall markets are quiet here and will not add too much. We did get up to 433.56. So I said 433.75 was kind of like a mathematical level for the Qs. It got close. Again, this is not a shorting level. It's just a mathematical number. It doesn't mean it has to pull back. The next level is around 442 if we were to get up there. These are just math numbers. They're not mega levels. They're just objectives. So just be aware of that. But Q's holding up. Again, like I said, rotation into IWM and ARC. I don't think IWM has much upside tomorrow. So I have a possible sell signal on it, an intraday sell signal on it going into tomorrow. Plus you have that wedge trend line that you're coming into as well. So I do think it probably has to pull back at least one more time. You get 1, 2, 3 hits there, 1, 2 on the downside. Maybe we hit this one more time and then we can go up, or we could just consolidate here, minor pullback, and then it could go finally maybe through 197.50. But again, like I said, over the last 2 days, how many times have we seen this? Like IWM, here it comes. It's going to outperform. Here it's going to catch up, and then it does for a few days, and then it can't hold up. Another thing too, in tying this into, we'll talk about rates in a second, but actually we'll talk about it when we talk about rates. Let's go to the Dow here, up 48 cents on the DAA. Nothing wrong with that. 390 still. Is your resistance level. We talked about the semis. There's the 200 whole round number. The SOX here, not quite to, well, basically, yeah, it hit 45.10. There's your double top, and I'd say maybe a pierce of that, maybe 46 could be a level past that. Cloud software here, that was leading today. Again, kind of a little bit of rotation. Like semis were up today, but there was other sectors that were kind of taking leadership. Big tech wasn't that great today. I mean, Microsoft, Google, kind of on the flatter side. Apple definitely on the weaker side. But you saw IGV kind of take leadership there. And again, 440 is our next little level. And then obviously the double top. After that, Dow Transport's here. Down earlier and then impressively coming back here. So up 0.25%. Nice price action. That just ticked positive, 10, 20 minutes ago. So good price action there. And if that consolidates this move underneath this area, that can go up to 16.6. There's a few little minor speed bumps on the way, but transports still look okay to me. All right, so let's talk rates. So we had an auction today, and the auction, you'd think just by looking at the 10-year, the auction went poorly. It did not, but price action wise, I mean, we had it was a decent auction, and we're right back at the highs. 10-year going to close at the highs of the day. 30-year right back to the highs of the day. There's the daily. Take a look at the fives. That's firming up here, and the 2-year still has that inverse head and shoulders that is in play. So if this consolidates, builds a base here, it'll go up to 4.6 to 4.7, right where those moving averages are. So rates are acting well. So what I was going to say with the Russell is, why am I so, well, I have plenty of reasons to be bullish rates from a big picture standpoint. Then you guys know that's been the case for me for a long time. It's not changed. Said rates aren't going to go much lower here, and they haven't. But what's a clue that could be telling us that? Why isn't the IWM at all-time highs? Right. This sector stands to benefit the most from the Fed aggressively cutting rates. If the market really anticipated that, this should be ripping to new highs, and it's not. And right now, what is ripping it to new highs? Chips and big tech companies that have a moat full of trillions of dollars in cash, or only hundreds of billions of dollars in cash. I think Apple has $1 trillion in cash. So again, another kind of point there for the fundamental case of rates not really going lower. And you saw that. I mean, look at TLT. This is not good price action. up move off the auction right at the lows of the day. So not really good action there. Weekly chart, you got this green bar here, close below 93.53 would be pretty weak. So that's my thoughts on rates right now. XHB continuing higher, so nice base there. Again, I would have preferred if the 20 MA caught up a little bit more, like got close to 90. It's not quite there yet, but you know, it's good consolidation. It's holding up. I'd just be a little careful because it is still extended, and it's going to get extended quickly if it tries to break out, because again, it didn't catch up to price. So just be aware of that. But it's trying to be on breakout right now, and we'll respect that. A good daily consolidation at the very least. VNQ holding up. Again, here's your line in the sand for tomorrow's close. Above or below dictates my bias on it moving forward. XLF here, kind of a nothing burger, down 15 cents on the day. Won't make too much out of that. KRE, was fractionally positive. It did hit that 618 that I was talking about. I was really hoping for this to hit last week because I wanted to day trade it on the first, but we didn't quite get there. We kind of rolled over. We spiked it yesterday, and we're kind of just hanging in. Or excuse me, the 618. Check that. Let me go to the minor. There we go. The 50% fib on the minor pivot. So this would be the major pivot. This is the minor pivot. Still important though. But we never got there, as you can see now. And then we rolled over yesterday, spiked it. I don't like it when you consolidate above it, so it makes it lower percentage, but it's holding nonetheless. But this has got a little work to do tomorrow. Otherwise, you're going to have a failed bullish inside bar on the weekly. So I'd be careful with the regional banks here. KBE, same thing. It's basically, I'll draw that in too, because we're kind of close to it. So 42.79. We're above it right now. Below it tomorrow would be bearish. So those are the levels I'm watching on those banks. Broker dealers are fine. Just doing weekly consolidation. Oil, I don't even know what to tell you with this thing. I did get out of my oil position today for a small gain. The reason I did that is because we had a retrace. I was looking for a 50% or a 618. We got there. I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know. Breakout candle. All right, breakout. Engulfing reversal. All right, so it's going to break down now. Nope, it's going to retrace through the 618. And at this point, it looks like it's firming up. Like this looks like it doesn't just look like a lazy like bear retrace. It looks like almost a bull move here. Maybe that's because rates, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, but rates should be a tailwind for oil. But I honestly don't know. I don't know if this right now. This has just been a chop shop mess. All I'll say is you're probably going to have some resistance here with the 200, 100. You got a pivot high, big pivot high. You do have higher lows, and this trend line did hold. So we'll just look for pattern. If this consolidates, we'll just give it the upside bias to 81.50 again, and we'll leave it at that. I don't like oil is unbelievable right now here. Especially on the weekly time frame with how up and down it is. XLE, and again, another thing that was kind of in the bull camp that I talked about with XLE, we saw money flow to XLE, right? Up move, tight, upright, right angle pattern, right? Versus oil, which was down, right? So we saw money flow into risk, right? There's more risk being in the producers than there is in the actual commodity, because there's leverage. So when you see that angle there, it's kind of a bullish sign versus the commodity. Same thing with XOP. Had a little bit of a pullback, but higher low there. Good tail candle. And that's bidding up as well. Again, still some resistance up here and a lot more at 140. OIH also getting a good bid today, up 1.5. And I still like this one. But yeah, oil is just, it's unbelievable right now how all over the map it is. Big outside move down for CCJ here. So down 6%, but still on the weekly, nothing terrible. As long as you're above, this green bar, 41.95 on a weekly close, I think it's fine. I wouldn't get too worried about it. This is way over, but we are way overbought and due for correction, so just be aware of that. URNM's in a little bit better shape, down 4% there, but definitely a little slice there today. Nat gas continuing below $2. I'm not certain where this wants to go. It's very hard to say because this operates with contracts. So some of these levels from years ago are kind of irrelevant, but it is getting really attractive. I'll say that, especially seasonally. This is kind of when it bottoms out. I'm just kind of waiting for this market to show me something. If it can show me some seller exhaustion and maybe higher lows, I think it could be a rip. I think it could be a good rip play up to 270. But right now, you had kind of a little minor bear flag there after the contract gap, the fake gap, whatever you want to call it. And now it's kind of dipping down. We had inventories today. It was slightly better than expected, not enough to move the needle. But it is getting attractive. You're actually at new 52-week lows. We got to go back to, I think, 2020. Yeah. We'll just go to a weekly. Yeah, we got to go back to this pivot in September 2020. The last time we were this low. But again, historically, it doesn't spend much time down here, so that's part of the reason why I'm interested in it. But got to see something here. I don't need to catch the exact low. I just want to see action. I want to see it do something to let me know that it's ready. But it is backing off. We'll leave it alone for now. Dollar up 8 cents, 9 cents. Nothing terrible. It's just kind of pulling back off that up move. If this consolidates, it's going higher. Again, still have it technically kind of an inverse head and shoulder here. There's a lot of resistance in play up, until that target, but it can move to 107 if that plays out. Gold fractionally lower here today, but it did come off the lows. It's still holding up really well with rates. I'm wondering if TNX breaks above 4.2, if that's going to be kind of the line in the sand here for gold to just back off. We'll see how that shakes out, but gold's still holding up okay. Silver, good day here. I was not expecting this kind of outside move. Take a look at the big bid in the morning, out of nowhere almost, pull back, and then it's basically finishing right at the highs of the day. So good move for silver. Technically, that's a higher low right now. We'll see if it can follow through. You got to get back above 2275, 2278 technically, and then you can try 2350, 2375 again. But those are just short-term levels. If this low gets taken out, it's going down here. I still think it probably does. But good bounce today for silver. Platinum also lower today. Take a look, lower low, but then it popped right back up. So up $7, $8 there. And palladium, same kind of thing. Good tail candle. Also take a look. Seller exhaustion coming into play here. So as you guys know, I still like platinum and palladium at these levels. Copper, guess what? That's a triggered head and shoulders. So and I also like that it had the rally up this morning off of the lows, and then it thrusted down, but it is coming off the lows here. How this can fail is if we close back above that. If we close back above that line, it's a failure, and then we'll just erase this line. And that doesn't mean it can't go lower. It just means we no longer use that as a price target. But it is triggered now as of today with volume, but it is coming off the lows. So we'll see. A lot of the times, these head and shoulders, they're fake outs. Because everybody looks at it and they go short right here, and then that just sets you up for a squeeze. But we'll respect the pattern right now. Bitcoin acting well. So back above 45K, and there it is, up move, mini bull flag, boom. So next resistance is at 46.5. That was your red bar high, and then up to 48, 49. I still don't think it's quite done enough to get through this level here. It probably still has to back off, but that's where it can go here in the near term. So again, no problems with Bitcoin. Weekly is still good. Even ETH, with all that damage it did on the daily, I don't like that daily. It's ugly move there, but weekly, it's just sideways here, and it's basing. Some of the other ones I've looked at or haven't looked at in a while. Look at Solana. That's just basing. That can catch up. If that moving average catches up, that can go higher. I still like Cardano. That pattern's fine. Matic still basing here as well. So some of these cryptos, even not just Bitcoin, are still acting well. And never got a sell signal on the weekly, and it held resistance, or it held support where it was supposed to. So Bitcoin's still holding up nicely. Let's take a look here. So markets, just floating higher. We'll see if we can get through 5K. We're basically there now. Again, it's not of much consequence if we close above it or not. As far as like the technicals are concerned, we're still, I still think there's insane amounts of euphoria in chips. But again, you can't really fight this market until you get some sort of high volume reversal. And I'm in the camp right now that will hold up into OPEX anyway. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow.